development for the Emerys and for others that have been part of this very strong culture in trying to create change. The purpose of the Act is to prevent young persons from accessing cannabis, to protect public health and public safety by establishing stricter product safety and product quality requirements, and to deter criminal activity by imposing serious criminal penalties. The goal of the Act, so if you read that, it isn't about recreational marijuana users and optimizing their experience and optimizing their choices. It's a very different lens. And I think that's the social difference, or maybe the philosophical difference. So I understand and hear your frustration. I hear the background that you're coming from, but the Act addresses different social agendas than the one you've been speaking to.
Well, then it's inadequate. It's simply, but here's the thing. What's also important is there's no apology. The government has to admit that this policy's been wrong for 50 years, that demonizing, persecuting, arresting, and charging 2.4 million Canadians was wrong-headed. It was counterproductive, didn't do anything good for anybody except the police, who benefit by all these things. One thing I would like to point out, you're only a youth at age 15, 16, 17 for 3 years, and then for another 70 years on average, you're an adult. From age 18 to 85, which is the average length of life in this country now, you're an adult. So you shouldn't be writing laws for the 3 years prior to becoming an adult for 70 years. You should be writing the law for the adults. Autonomous adults who can get themselves abortions, who can fill themselves with alcohol. I can buy all the alcohol I want, fill my house. I can do a lot of things that are very, very dangerous, and this government and this society, a free democratic society, allows me to do that, and that's great, because most people handle responsibility well when given to them. But in this Act, it's the opposite. It's like we're children, we're being condescended to constantly, told absurd, ridiculous things like your plant can't be higher than this. Who can control nature like that? These are plants, they grow. Right? They're going to be all sorts of sizes and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Everything in the legislation is inadequate.
I hear your reaction, but I just wanted to make sure that we clearly understood the intent.
Well, you said you were going to legalize. You didn't say this was a halfway measure to get somewhere. This was promised as a legalization by the Prime Minister at the last election.
For the municipalities.